So in this lesson, we're looking at compressing data. Some of you may have used Zip, Gzip. There's several others as well. We'll be looking at several tonight that work in the Linux operating system. Okay, let me get my directions, put them over here. And the lab here, shut that, move that over. All right, and here we'll be using Gzip, Bzip2, Xz, and then we'll look at using tar with compression tools. Okay, task 1, we're going to power on and log into PLAB Linux 01. So I'll hit power on and then double click on the name and scroll up just a hair. Make sure I'm on PLAB Linux 01. Give it a second to boot. And this one usually logs in for me. So again, I'll come down. Now I'm on task 2, use Gzip. Gzip tool is one of the oldest compression methods in Linux. It uses a deflate algorithm to compress the data. The deflate method is also used in other technologies such as PNG files, HTTP, and SSH. The Gzip tool uses the .gz extension for the compressed files. In this task, we're going to create a Gzip file. So right-click on the desktop and open terminal. And we want to copy the host file and the etc subdirectory to the current directory. So I'll do I typed CD and said CP, so CP space /etc/host with an S space and dot. The dot tells it to copy it to the current directory. Well, CP tells it to copy it. etc host is what we're copying, and dot tells it to put it in the current directory. You can compress any file. Here we're just using the host file as an example. To compress the host file, we'll use Gzip and the name of the file, host with an S. Then we want to verify that the .gz file was created, so we'll list, and you can see the host.gz directory or file here. If we want to see information about the compressed file, clear and then gzip-l host.gz. So it shows me that compressed, it's 113 bytes, I would imagine. Uncompressed, it's 203, so that's a 56.2 compression ratio. And the uncompressed file name was host. To decompress or unzip the file, we use gzip-d and then the name of the compressed file, host with the s.gz. We're going to verify it's been decompressed, and you'll notice that the .gz file is no longer there. Instead, hosts with an S. We can control the level of compression by using the number parameters, -1 through -9. -1 is the least amount of compression, but very fast. Whereas -9 is the highest compression method, but takes the longest. We're going to use the highest compression method by typing gzip-9 and the name of the file, host with an S. Then I want to compare that to what it was earlier, which is the regular compression. And it's noticeably the same. Since it doesn't hold a large amount of data, the compression ratio is similar. It's the same. Exactly. When you have large amounts of data, you tend to get a lot of compression. Yeah, I'll pause there for just a second. That was Gzip. Next, we'll look at Bzip2. Uses the Burroughs-Wheeler algorithm that can create heavily compressed files. Okay, before we use Bzip2, we need to uncompress the Gzip file. did. I guess we redid. Yeah, we redid it. I'm not going to clear first because I'm just going to use my up arrow and go back and find where I typed it earlier. And hit enter. That deletes or decompresses, not deletes, I'm sorry, decompresses the host.gz file or unzips it, extracts the information from it, however you want to say that. Now I'll do a clear. Okay. I don't think that got typed in right. Those instructions look weird, so I'm just going to type what they tell me to. Bzip to host should zip the file, not extract it. And we want to do a ls, and we'll see that there's the bz2 host file that was compressed. So I think somebody did a copy and paste on step 2 and did not change the instructions, because that does not, this does not match what we're doing here. We're not extracting it. This actually compresses it. And then to decompress it, we do the bzip to -d and then the name of the compressed file. Then I'll do my list again, and you'll see it's gone, but host is back. Bzip2 can also use the -1 through -9 features. And now we're on to Gzip. Don't forget, if I get to going too fast, just ding me in the chat. And let me know how you're, if I'm going too fast. Okay. On to Gzip. This tool uses the LZMA2 compression and provides better compression than Bzip2 and Gzip. Even though its compression time is longer, the decompression time is relatively less. In this task, we'll use Gzip. And first we'll clear the screen. And then we'll Gzip, and the name of the file is host. And we'll do a list to see that the file Gzip exists. We want to see the statistics. for the XZ file. So XZ-L and the name of the XZ file. What did we see before? That was 113. Was it not? I won't go back that far. Thought it was smaller. It's supposed to be better, but anyway. Maybe it is when it comes to large amounts of data. All right, now we're going to decompress by using xz-d host.xz. And list, and we'll see that our host file is back. Task 5, we're looking at using tar with various compression tools. Tar is an archiving utility. It can be used with compression tools like Bzip, 2xz, and Gzip. In this example, we're going to use tar with various compression techniques. So in step 1, clear, and we'll tar CZVF space the name of the file host.tar.gz host. So we're going to archive and compress the host file. Or actually, first we compress it and then we archive it. We can view the contents of tar file without extracting it. We need to use the -T instead of -C to view the contents. And I looked everywhere for the -C. There's no dash, it's just C. And then we make this one T. And that displays the contents of the file. Apparently that's the contents of the file. I might argue, I don't know what was in the file. It kind of makes sense. That's me, the administrator, working on the file. Decompression is done with the X parameter. So I'll backspace over the T and put in an X. This is where using the up arrow comes in handy tremendously. And I'll do an LS here. And I should not see my file. Apparently, yes, I should. Oh, both of them are in there. Okay, to use tar with Gzip 2, we need to use the J parameter. So I'm going to first clear my screen. And I want to tar CJVF host.tar.bz2 host. So it'll compress with BZ2 and archive with tar. No, I use the Z. I don't understand this comment down here. Notice that the command has replaced -Z with -J. So now I missed that earlier and I did not understand that comment because we weren't using -Z. Again, we can view the contents of that file by changing the C to a T. And that shows us the contents of the file. And then decompression is done with the, change the T to an X. Okay, then I'll do a list. And there's my BZ2. And my host is back. Okay, if we want to tar a XZ file, we need to use the uppercase J parameter. So in this case, we'll use tar C uppercase J VF host dot tar dot XZ host. And again, we can view the contents by changing the C to a T, and it displays the contents of the file. Then again, we can decompress by changing the T to an X. And now I have all three versions and my host file is back. Okay, so we've now looked and know how to use Gzip, Bzip2, XZ, and we know how to archive files with tar and the switches for archiving, viewing, and decompressing, or de-archiving, decompressing. I guess it's doing both. How do we do on that MindTap activity?